Hey guys, welcome to a little video I've got for you here talking about my time in FM15. So the new season is just about to start and I haven't actually made any videos on FM15 for a few months, well more than a few months now. So I decided to essentially take you through how I've done. It's not like FM14 where I just flat out refused to play the game because I didn't like it. On the contrary, in fact, I think FM15 has been really good. It's had, of course, like any football manager, it's had its fair share of bugs. But on the whole, I've actually kind of enjoyed FM15 a lot more than I thought I was. At least I was, because 14 for me was such a dismal letdown. I just struggled with it so badly. Yeah, I don't know why. I just didn't take to it, I guess. But what, as you can see, happened on screen here is I have got the closest you can get to completing the game. You know, I mean, of course, there's that fatal joke in the in-betweeners where Jay says, "Football Manager, yeah, I completed it, mate." And of course, Neil says, "You can't complete it." Of course, I think then he goes on to talking about how he got offered an England's coaching job or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is basically the closest you can get to doing that. It's by topping the Hall of Fame worldwide. And I've done it a lot earlier this time in FM15. I think the problem was I would have done it way earlier on FM13. Problem was Jose Mourinho, won an insane amount of trophies. Like, he won something like 6 European Cups, 10 Italian leagues, he won like 6 La Ligas. He just won tons of stuff. Like, put it this way, my score here, 5,552. I think Mourinho ended on like 7,900 and something. You know, he was unreal. So yeah, I've topped it. I've managed to actually top it, and bizarrely, only with 2 teams. Something's never happened. Yeah, on FM13, I think it was like with Brighton and Liverpool and Dortmund and England and America and all sorts. Tottenham, Arsenal, you know, loads and loads of teams. This, just 2. So I guess I'll go through the Hall of Fame. So basically what I'm going to do in this video is just take you through my career on this. I sort of stopped it halfway through and I kind of want to finish it off and just say, look, I started this journey, I might as well finish it. Or at least I try to, and sort of just show you around. I mean, I'll put a link as well in the description if you want to download this save. Bear in mind, it's Football Manager Classic. I just prefer this version of the game. I don't have time to play the full version. I hate the repetitive nature of just stupid things like press conferences. In FMC, most of them are pretty much optional, so you don't have to worry about that. I prefer the overall layout, and the only problem with FMC I find is the lack of communication between the players. It's very limited, and you know, no one would actually talk like this. But I'm just going to take you through. I think I stopped it like, well, we're in 2042 now, maybe like 15 years ago. I think mid-20s. I think I left you. A lot has happened, and we've had some phenomenal players, and one game in particular, which I'm going to show you, one tie rather, the most ridiculously insane tie ever. It's a pity it was in the League Cup, but there you go. So I'll just take you through very quickly. In fact, let's go through the top 20 managers of all time, just to give you an idea of who's been where, done what. Philippe Cocu is the first name that jumps out to me here. He went to Man City, who, funny things happen to them. Marseille, just to point out Marseille, try and give you as much sort of backstory as I can before we start seeing some of the weirder teams, you know, win Champions Leagues and beat bigger teams, because there's been a real shift this time, some real movement in terms of, you know, who the big teams are, smaller teams are getting bigger, you know, so on. Marseille are one of them. Philippe Cocu did this great job. He surprisingly only won 1 League 1, but he's won 2 Champions Leagues. They had at the start of I think it was either the middle or the start of the 30s, they had a phenomenal team. I mean, absolutely amazing team, and I'll show you the reason why I know that in a few minutes. But yeah, they've won a few things. He's won a few with PSV Eindhoven and an FA Cup with City. Let's see as well, Laurent Blanc's in here. He's won 14 at Ligue 1. They've had a bit of a stranglehold on the first of French league, to be honest with you. It's kind of mad. Yeah, I guess this guy as well. Is he a regen? Is he real? He's still at Shakhtar. He's won the Ukrainian league. Yes, 14 times, I guess. That's kind of mad. Here's Pep Guardiola. He wins at Bayern, obviously Barca. He was also at Man City. He won the League Cup twice. And that's what else has he won? Did he win the Champions League? I don't think he did. But he won 3 Bundesligas. Quite high, actually. Also a guy I don't know. Carlos Barra, no, that's not him. No one knew. I think the rest you might know. The only one is this guy, Zandau. He's 54 with Corinthians. He's won 23 Sao Paulo State. Wow, look at that. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. No wonder he's sick all the time. Leonard Slutsky as well is up here, who a name that you're probably going to be seeing a lot more in real life over the next few years. He won a lot of Barcelona. He was their manager for the best part of a decade, if not more. Let's see, won 2 Champions Leagues, 3 Super Cups, Club World Cup, 5 La Ligas, 1 Copa del Rey, done stuff with CSKA Moscow as well, so, pretty good. In terms of England, I'll show you England as well. I don't think there's anyone new. I think the rest are all, that's normal. In terms of English managers, Lee Clark. He was a great Arsenal manager, actually, somehow. He was also at Derby, I think I was before me, and even went to PSG. The rest, I think, are all there. Yes. He was in Europe, any more in Europe? No, I think that's it. Okay, so to go over then where I am with Liverpool. So how have I completed it? What have I done with Liverpool? Well, here is the Premier League. So this is the latest season. Liverpool top, 1 loss. Goal difference, 75. Here are the past winners. So I'll explain all this then. So Derby, as you can see, we won 4 in a row with Derby. Of course, the team I was with when I left this or stopped the series. And then I sort of went to Liverpool, left Derby, and I'll give a reason why I went to Derby shortly. I went to Liverpool and I've won, with the exception of 2, where I came 3rd one season, which wasn't great. Won the title and won 3 in a row. So we've done pretty well. It's been a real titanic clash between us and Man United over the years. It's been us 2 locked at the top. And then there's sort of Chelsea and Arsenal, and then there's been a cluster of different teams. It's kind of weird. So if we go back to the league, this time it's Sheffield United, who, for reasons I can't explain, are actually done really, really well. Way ahead of everyone else. Southampton also up there have done really well. They've been very up and down. John Flanagan was managing them for a while. Tottenham, who have actually been in the Championship for a long time. Stoke City, who are now owned by a tycoon. Nottingham Forest, who are really doing well. Hull managed to qualify for the Champions League. What? Have they won the Europa League? Holy shit, wow! They beat Juventus. Wow, I was totally not expecting that. Hull have qualified, as you can see, they actually qualified the previous season for the Champions League, being managed by Charlie Mulgrew. They actually qualified for the Champions League. Obviously they've not done that well this season, but they've managed to do it again because they've won the Europa League. That's crazy. Watford the backup, Charlton have been really good as well. All these teams have, at least at some point, contested for the top 4. I think only Hull have qualified. Obviously, I mean, it's been this top 4. This top 4 has been a consistent now for the best part of 6 or 7 years. But this is different. Sheffield United, I don't think they've qualified for Europe before. Southampton have done it before, but Tottenham have been away. Cardiff have also done. No, I know. I realise they're at the bottom here, but last year I think they came 5th. They nearly came 4th. Arsenal pipped them eventually, but Cardiff have done very well. Newcastle sort of drifted up and down all over the place. Huddersfield, I don't know what is with Huddersfield on FM. I think their researcher is being very generous, to be honest with you. They seem to be in the Premier League on everyone's save, and I don't know how, because the team's crap in real life apparently. I don't know anything. I don't watch the Championship, so don't yell at me. And this is interesting because Villa, if we go over their thing, I mean, look at that. It's not relegation, is it? You wouldn't say, oh, they're going to go down this season, would you? I mean, the problem is, because FMC is a bit glitchy, it usually displays their position, but for some reason it doesn't. They've been relegated, and Man City have gone down. I've been waiting for this for years. They've been slowly dripping down the table. They've never actually won the Premier League, I don't think, on this save. Let me see. In fact, if we just go in the history, have they actually won it? Oh, sorry. Oh, no, yeah, 2015. Liverpool, of course, won it the year I started. Because, this game is so accurate. But yeah, Man City never actually won it. They did come second quite a few times. But ever since 2031, they have slowly nosedived. And it's culminated. I mean, look at that drop. But then they inexplicably just came back up, and now they've been relegated. It's weird. Sheikh Mansour went a long time ago. The Sheikh Mansour leaves 2033. The finances are insecure. They're all over the place. I assume that's when, when he left, that sort of condemned them, I suppose. Now, you may have noticed, certainly the more eagle-eyed viewers of yourselves, may have noticed a team missing. A certain team who's won the Premier League, a certain team I've managed. Derby County. Yes, where the freaking hell are Derby? Well, I'm not sure if you can actually believe this, but I leave them and they have completely capitulated. In fact, they are in the Championship. Yeah. They have been a total disaster. I'll explain. I'll explain my entire time with Derby. Now, as you can see, this is me here. This was my replacement, Mario Fernandes, Brazilian manager. Won the league with them, fine. I left here, went to another team. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Mario Fernandes wins the league. He falls away. They then come second one year, in fact pipping my Liverpool to second place. Then totally fall down the table, getting relegated 2038-39, and have been in the Championship since. I think they finished 10th because they went into administration. Look at this. Look at this. Stadium increased to 65,000. 5 years later, they're relegated. Went into administration. So, what I'll do is, I'll show you landmarks, managers. So I was there for 11 years. I resigned. 4,000 days, won 6 leagues and 10 cups. Even won a European Cup. In fact, make a note of the date. Let me go back to that. Managers. Take a note of the date. 10th of the 6th, 2033. Chairman leaves. New chairman comes in 1 month later, almost to the day. In fact, I resign. Why did I do that? Well, 1, I was a bit bored of Derby, but 2, this guy wanted to sack me. He didn't. He said, "Oh yeah, you can stay on." I went, "No, screw you. I'm not going anywhere." Oh well, sorry. So I was originally going to say I'm not going anywhere. Screw you. And then he said, "No, you can stay now." I'm like, "Well, no, screw you. I'm off." So he, you know that thing when a new chairman comes and he says he is considering putting in blah blah blah, and I think another news article saying my job is in jeopardy or something, and then he changed his mind, and I was just like, screw this guy. Screw this guy. I left. They won the FA. I think I won the FA Cup with them. As you can see, came second in the Champions League, and that was it then. Won the Premier League. Again, that was under Fernandes, I think his name was. As you can see, he only lasted just under 2 years. He was sacked, and it's just gradually got worse and worse. So the stadium increased there. You think great, but what happened? So if we go into the table here, so 33. Let's say I leave in 33. So there's a win. There's my last win, and that's me gone. They then win again. I'm not managing a team at this point. Liverpool finishing 10th. Remember that. I then win with Liverpool. Derby slipped down to 5th. And it's not just by, just a bit. They are miles behind this top 4. This sort of old big 4 has been re-established. Derby then slipped down to 10th. Now, one of the problems is what they've essentially done here is slightly elongated it, but it's a very similar thing to what happened to Leeds. So, if you may remember, I think they got relegated in the 03-04 season. They essentially just capitulated. They got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and it was all going very well, but the Champions League money stopped rolling, and I think they took out a ton of loans. And because the Champions League money wasn't coming in, they couldn't afford to repay those loans. So they just completely collapsed, and they were forced to sell the best players, and they sold Ferdinand for 30 million. God, who else did they sell? They just, I mean, you actually look at that team and you forget how many good players they had, like who went on to, play for Chelsea, for Man United, for Liverpool, for Arsenal. There's so many good players, and it's a massive shame. But it was a slightly longer version of that, and you could see it unfolding before my eyes. I mean, one of the things is that the Premier League bottom half has been really long. I remember in the mid to late 30s. At times, there would be like 6 points between 18th, even like 19th and 11th and 10th and 9th. And I'm just like, wow, a couple of weeks difference and the whole system could change. The whole layout of the league would be totally different, and it was crazy. So that's what happened. They then bizarrely just went back up to second, so you think, okay, great, the Champions League money's going to come back in. Nope, they slipped back down to 12th, and that really was a kicker, and I think they did poorly in the Champions League. Problem was as well, they were losing players, they couldn't reinvest in them, and it all paid off in the end because they went down. And I was shocked to see that, to be honest. It was a real shocker. Charlton in 5th there. It was a genuine shocker to see, and I couldn't believe it. And they've never been back since. This is bizarre, absolutely bizarre. So I want to go through Derby as well. So I am a Derby legend, as you can imagine. Let's see here. So Mick Lowe is the current manager. If we go to legends here, so I'll start with we'll start with the legends. So there's Steve Bloomer, who's Victorian. He's there by default. Shane Duffy. I think you may have seen this one yourselves if you watched the series, but I imagine the majority, if not all of you, have forgotten. He was signed. I can't fortunately click him. He was signed from Everton or somewhere, maybe Middlesbrough or something. I think he might have moved. But he, of course, is at Everton at the moment in real life. And he was the captain and he was boss. He was just great player. Then we come to one of the best players I've ever had in Football Manager, and I mean genuinely the best, or one of the best. Rocco Gallio, you saw him sort of approaching his peak, I think, in the series. He went absolutely mad. Put it this way. In fact, is it there? I don't think it's there. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. Okay, it's not there. He didn't actually score as many league goals as Steve Bloomer, but this guy, and I've checked, he scored something utterly obscene, like, okay, yeah, 317 goals down there. Basically, if you add up all his Derby goals, he scored more than anyone in Derby, as collective goals. So if he was real, he would be the all-time goal scorer for Derby. He was that good. Daniel Craft, he's still there. Oh no, he's at Watford now. He stuck with Derby right through to and he actually does deserve to be a legend, to be fair. He went down with them in the Championship. He could have been one of the best in the world, but he stuck with Derby, even in the Championship, so fair play to him. Obviously he left, I think he was on something like 120 grand a week, which was one of the problems, because the AI can't figure out that, clubs are just, when they're in administration, one of the reasons, and I think it was partly due to the fact they went into administration, was because they had players on 100 grand a week, 120k a week, 130k a week, and it was stupid because I was trying to sign a few of my old, great players like Darko Vuko and Arne Haroy and Bennett Kraft. They wanted like 100 grand a week, and I'm like, you're 33 years old, you cannot possibly, there's no way you can offer me £100,000 worth of player. That's ridiculous. One of the things I try and do with the team, and you'll see this with Liverpool, is I don't have a particularly high wage expenditure. There's a few players that are on 6 figures a week, but not many really, for considering what we actually did. I don't think we have any new icons. I think they're all there. So I'll go over the best 11 as well, Darby. This is going to be a long video, by the way. I'm getting into the real nitty gritty. So Adam Stevens, 841 appearances for Derby. That's a record. No one's even got close to that. 841. That is unreal. He was amazing. I think he ended up staying for a while as well. Oh, he's actually free. He must be finished, surely. Actually, no, I think he's retiring. He's like going to retire soon. Yeah, or retired. Oh, he actually is retired. Yeah, he spent 3 final years, sadly, on Huddersfield, which isn't great. But yeah, look at that. 2022 to 2040. Great player, and I'm saying it really is a phenomenal goalkeeper. Perana Horoy, great right back, he's now retired. Patrick Mayer, he's also managed a great centre back. Shane Duffy, he was great. There's Darko Vuko, he's still going. He's 34 at Southampton. He's done quite well considering there. He got them into the Europa League. Mo Hadji, where's he nowadays? Forest. Oh, you dirty traitor! You horrible, horrible bastard. Jesse Lingard, on loan, of course, from Man United. Actually, bought from Man United. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Turned out to be really good. 100 goals. Really came good in his final few years. Jesse Lingard. I don't know where it came from. Eric Owens, someone who I've not controlled. Kraft, Gallio, and bizarrely Conor Mahoney, who wasn't great. We also had Vasco Saramago, who is now manager. Ended up going to Celtic and being an absolute tank for them. He was a great player. Saramago, a bit inconsistent, only scored 151 goals, which isn't great. And then someone who they stupidly sold, but I guess in the grand scheme, I suppose they would have had to sell, and they did get the most money for him I think they could have got at the time. Silvio Landi, look at that, 80 goals in 160 games, won every other game. Really, really good player. He's at Juventus now. They sold him for 38.5 million. Look at the bottom there. 21 goals, 19, 17, 17. I think they've done pretty well. 24, got a good, fairly good amount for him. But yeah, bit of a shame really. And Kevin McKenzie, who's now 39 years old and still going at Inverness, marking to look at them. Wow, that is so poor. He went to Tottenham, I think. Yeah, he had to go into Spain. I tell you what, he's had a career. We spent 3 years at Inverness Kelly Thistle. Tell you what, he's not done bad. He's done very well, very well for himself. So there's none of my players are in this team at all. Absolutely none. Never worked with any of these. Actually, no, Curtis Downey. Oh no, he used to play for Liverpool. He's actually done alright there. Yeah, I released him a few years ago. Oh, sorry, last season. And he went to Derby, ironically. So, yeah, that's Derby really. A feast for crows, shall we say. New chairman Andre Marquez sold the club down the river, I guess. No one, I imagine he took out a load of loans and, as you can see here, relegated, went into administration, sold. He probably bought the club for like 800 million or something crazy and sold it for 50 million. What an absolute moron. Hope he went bankrupt. Twat. And there's Miguel Carvalho with a consortium, they came out of administration. So they're on their way back up slowly. They will never hit the heights I took them to though. So the Champions League win as well. So let's go through that. Where are we here? So as you can see, we've won twice with Liverpool, and you can see it all there. I'm not going to hide any of it. But the one we won here was against Porto at Old Trafford. Then we got to the final again against Marseille and lost. You can see what I mean when I say they had a seriously, seriously good team. Espanyol got to 2 finals as well. They're also very good. Not quite on the same level as Marseille, but yeah. So I'll show you. I don't think I'll be able to show you this final. No, I won't, unfortunately. Let's see, what was it? 2003. There's 37 final. Oops, sorry, no, wrong one. What year was it? 30. That wasn't me. I was semi-finals. There we go. Yes. Full detail. That's a shame. So they had 2 sendings off in the end. A player, bizarrely, this boy now he's retired. Renato Pellegrino. This was. He was very much a player who was a fringe player. Someone who I wasn't particularly keen on. Didn't have a great season. And thought, right, let's bring him on. Let's make this lad the hero. And you know what? He scored. I don't have the goal to show you, but he scored. And he actually became really good after that. He wasn't incredible, but he was, you know what? He was a decent player. And he changed totally. We then got to the final again the next year, but we lost 4-1 to what can only be described as a fantastic Marseille team. Look at that, winning the few leagues. Obviously, they only came second to PSG, but they have. Let me just make sure they haven't been taken over by anyone, have they? There's a new consortium, but it's not a tycoon. Mark-Andrew ter Stegen's still going there. He's an assist. Oh, he's 50 now. I mean, we're quite far into the save. Callum Collier, by the way, English player, world alert. They are very rare. Yeah, that's Marseille, really very good team. Also, fun fact, they were managed, sort of briefly, by Brendan Rodgers for nearly 3 years. He then retired to his final club. You won't believe who his other club was. In fact, I'm just going to show you this. This is staggering. I've never seen this before. 2 managers. I'll just sit here and just let you take that in 1 second. 2 managers in 30 years. This isn't Football Manager 1975. This is 2015, in fact 2042. And that is, give or take, 30 years. And he was sacked. He was sacked when we finished 10th. He managed to win 2 European Cups as well, believe it or not. He won, let's see here, he won 2017 and 2030 against, both times, Paris Saint-Germain. He got to the final a few other times as well, lost to Man United, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, he went along well. He won a few Premier Leagues, went down, sort of up and down, very up and down. Second there at one point, up again, third, and then an almighty drop, and then there was me. So, as you can see, we're worth an estimated 1.7 billion. I came in after Rodgers was sacked, but he's a legend. I'll just show you. You've got the usual people. Brendan Rodgers there, and a few of my players. So that is pretty much the value at its highest. That's going to go, excuse me, that's going to go down a little bit. That's just because we've just won the European Cup. When the value will hit the ceiling, so to speak, it will be as high as it possibly can go. And also, we've made a profit of 80 million, you know, as everyone does at the end of May, at this level. To go to, where were we? 2030, was it here? I think it might have been this one. I think it was. Won the FA Cup, won the league, had a really good game. It was just, you know, it was just great fun playing this team. Got to the Champions League semi-final, unfortunately lost to Man United, which was a bit of a shame. But look how many times we played them. Look at that. Crazy. Real Madrid, look at that as well, playing them. Everton, by the way, they're in League One. That was a great throw. Managed to play first Merseyside derby on the save. Beat them 4-1. It was great. I think we were like 3-0 up after 15 minutes. It was a lot of fun. Kind of missed the derby, to be honest. Trying to think what else to show you. So I'll show you my squad. I'll show you my current squad, and I'll show you some of the older players that helped me through the first, sort of first phase, if you will. So goalkeeper. This guy is fairly recent. He only came in a few years ago. Olega Zozulia, signed for £20 million. There's guys like David James in that he's good, but my God, he has a mistake in him, and when he does make that mistake, you want to punch him in the face. He did a great, in fact, I might try and show you. That's this season. So this season, we only lost 1 game, I think, in the league last season. Oh, sorry, 2 games. We lost at Man United, and we lost to Charlton at home. That is the last time we won, so we lost at home. John Bollen, who's a great player, and he's one of the reasons why Charlton's so good. This happened, basically. So, and put it this way, he's a few months, in fact, yeah, he's a couple of months into his time at Liverpool. He's just replaced club legend. Oh dear, what's he done? Oh no. That's a shocker. That is an absolute shocker, but then he was great for the rest of the season. You know, we won. I'm trying to think. Did we win? Yeah, I think we did. This, as you can tell, Champions League win, FA Cup win, Premier League win, League Cup win. What's that equal? The quadruple. I've finally done it. Did it in the 2040-41 season. Bookended by trebles. This might be the best team I've ever had. Yeah, that is the first time I've ever done the quadruple, ever. In about like combined, I don't know, 120 seasons across 4 years or something ridiculous. Yeah, first and only time I've done the quadruple. So that's the only major tournament or major thing that I've got left to win is the World Cup. I will do it at some point, trust me. So yeah, that was Zazulia. But he's come good though, but he definitely has a mistake in him. Backup goalkeeper Jamal Chambers, who isn't great, but there you go. We'll come back to Joe Price. I want to put him into a gang of people that deserve special recognition. Then there's my current captain, Hervé Mbessa, who I signed from Porto for £6.25 million, and he has been phenomenal. He is so good. I mean, just look at his stats. Here's his stats. He's amazing. And I mean, I signed him when he was quite young, but he just came into the team and so easy and like that, and he was so good. Another Belgian. I've never wanted to say this guy's name on video, but I'll give it a go. It's Popal Wembangano, I think is how you say it. He should have been a lot better than actually he's turned out to be. He could have been a lot more, but he's greatly versatile. He can play it right back, centre back, defensive mid, and centre midfield. So why the hell I'd want to get rid of him? Then we have Antonis Ketsetsoglu, left back, who I signed from Barcelona for £5 million. I don't know why they let him go so cheaply, but there you go. James Foster, one of the new additions I've made to the team, just as alternative to Ketsetsoglu. He signed for £8 million from City. Really good player, actually. The scouts weren't keen on him, but there you go. These two are young kids who I've not really seen much of, so I can't really comment on them. Then we have Toon van der Velde, which is a wonderful name. He and Mbessa were actually named in the World 11 as two centre-backs. So, you're doing something right if your two centre-backs are in the World 11. Signed, to be honest, I didn't need this guy. We had plenty going on, but he actually turned out to be a shrewd signing, and he has done something very important, which I'll get onto shortly. And the other centre-back we have is Chris Landon, who is from Leicester and is in fact we bought from Newcastle for £18 million. He's actually probably the weakest centre-back we have, ironically, considering he's the most expensive. But he's a good player, but he's not incredible. He's like the others who are all really, really good. There's this youngster who actually just won Player of the Month Young Player of the Month for May, Jay Bryan. He looks pretty good. He might cement himself a place in the team now. Then we have Cengiz Kubalis, another new player I've just bought in. He was from Sheffield United for £14 million. I needed a new player because I've just replaced someone who I just sold. Actually, he should be in the other teams. I'll show you him shortly, this mystery player, which I sold to Paris Saint-Germain for £25 million. So, I thought, okay, I might as well get someone else in at right back, at right midfield. So that one again. And he's versatile as well. So, this guy looks pretty decent. We have Petter Kjerde, I think is how you say that. I'm probably saying that wrong because I know there are a few Norwegians who watch. He's a good alternative against the main left midfielder I have. Again, I'll show you him in a moment. Here's Domingo Saenz, who was brought in really as a sort of utility rotation type player and has grown to be one of the best players in the world. He has. There was a World Cup, I think. When did I bring him in? Yeah, he played in the 2038 World Cup, I think. Or was it I think it was. And he had a stormer. He had an amazing World Cup. And ever since then, he's been amazing. He's really kicked on. He was still only like 24 at the time, so he's been amazing. Then we have I always have one of these when I go to Liverpool. I have my local underdog story. We had Jason Malone on FM13, I think was it, or FM12. We had a few others as well. This one might take the cake on a lot of them though. Jay Grant, he's actually from the same town as me, Crosby, and has, put it this way, look at his history, right? Came into the club 2025. 0 appearances, 1 appearance, 3 appearances, 1 goal, got his first goal, great. 2 appearances, 1 substitute appearance, not great so far, but he's young, fair enough. Went out on loan to Dunfermline, 10 goals, not bad. Liverpool made 1 appearance last season, it's a bit stagnative, isn't it? Brentford, 9 goals, that's okay. 7 goals for West Brom, that's not bad for in the Premier League. Went to Liverpool, didn't make a single appearance. Went to Liverpool again, made one solitary sub appearance. This guy was transfer listed. I came in, transfer listed, tried to bin him off. No one wanted them. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I like to think in the narrative in my mind. I sat him down and said, right, what can you offer me? And he went, I will try my hardest, and you'll give all that. I put faith in him, gave him the number 9 shirt, 12 goals. Not bad. Next season, 17 goals. Now you're talking. 23 goals. What's going on here? And then that was his peak as he scored 8 goals, 3 goals, 6 goals. But this last season he scored 20, and this season he scored 15. That's not bad, considering he was essentially a reject. And I actually, at an added bonus, managed to get him to convert him into a midfielder as well. And he's great. He is uncapped. He's never played for England at any level. He's not a great player, but my God, he scores goals. I don't know how or why, but he's really good. Considering he's on 33k, the amount of goals he gets is amazing. Like he is a dream backup striker. He's never complained. He's been great. I've even gave him the captaincy a few times. I think he's the vice captain. It's crazy. Anyway, moving on. He was a striker. He's only recently moved into midfield anyway. Then we have another new signing, Juan Manuel Loli. I think I'm going to say that with a weird accent. 3.2 million from Bayern Munich. Good player. He's played against us before. He was quite impressive actually. So I saw him up for sale for 3 million. I was like, yes, I'm having that. Then we come to, well, this is Steve Murphy. He's valued to £56 million. I signed him for £42.5 million. He was the main reason why Charlton was so good. He's a world-class player. He got 37 assists in his debut season. Last year he got a measly 21. He wears the number 8 shirt. He is one of the best players in the game, if not the best player at the moment. Phenomenal player. Really is phenomenal. Then we have my main left midfielder, Dennis van der Weide, or Van der Weide, I think, or Weide. I know I had to look up how you pronounce that name. Gave him the number 10 shirt, signed him for just under 12 million from Alkmaar. He's great. 20 assists, 14 assists, 19 assists. You know, he gets assists and he gets bags a few goals as well. Really good player, very pacey. Let's have a look at him here. Look at them physicals. Good crossing, good dribbling, good work rate. It's what you want out of a winger. 41 appearances for Holland as well. Now, this is interesting. This is Lubomir Simic. Now, he's on loan, as you can see, but he was signed for 2 million by Brendan Rodgers and this is a strange part, he was a legend very early on. He went out on loan to a few players. Then, I think in my first season, he scored 17, then he scored 28, 32, 14, 12. So you can see he started to play less, and he actually got a bit annoyed that he wasn't getting enough game time. That so happened to coincide with the end of his contract. Now I hadn't, because I'm crap with contracts, given him a new one, and he actually left on a Bosman, and I was gutted. He's a legend, and he was really good. He was like a slightly better, he was a much better Grant in a way, and he ended up going to Espanyol for free, but he was available for loan, and I thought, I'm having me some of that. He came back, scored 19 goals, and is now an icon. But he was a legend. I don't know how that's at. Look, if I show you information, he was up here. Now he's down here. I don't know how that's happened. He's done nothing wrong. Then come out in the press and call Liverpool fans a bunch of bellends or something. You know, I don't get that one. Then there's this. This is Claudio Alberti. Now he's really kicked on the last couple of years. I had serious doubts about this boy, because he was meant to be, what, for ages and ages and ages, my assistant manager was telling me, my scouts were telling me, this guy was going to be world class. He was going to be one of the best midfielders in the world in a few years' time. He's going to be amazing. I even, look at this, he's 16 years old. He's made 4 assists and 1 goal in 8 appearances. He scored on his debut as a 16-year-old. He was great. And then my fault for not playing so much. Kind of, yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, it was difficult. I was trying to fit him in the team, so I sent him on loan to Watford. Did all right. Got injured, I think. Gave him a bit more game time at Liverpool. I think he's about 18 at this point, you know. And I think at that point as well, I gave him stupidly the number 8 shirt. He didn't play too often after that. I think I made him a mistake. Sent him on loan again. West Brom did okay. Watford didn't score at Watford. Went back there, did a little bit better. And last season went and then this season went on loan to Hull. not great again. But then I brought him back in the team and was right, this is now do or die. Similar to Grant, it's like, look, what can you offer me? Can you do me proud here? And yeah, 8 assists in 30 appearances. And look at this season, 21 assists. He's getting better. His value shot up and he's made his first cap for England. He's done well. But doing well at that level is good. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to one of the most astonishing breakthroughs I've ever seen. This is Jimmy Molyneux. I call him James, obviously. This guy came through my youth team. He looked alright, not particularly amazing, but I thought, okay, maybe I can put something, maybe I'll be a good squad player. So, I gave him an appearance. He didn't do much. He's handy and stuff. Scored his first goal when he was like 18, I think. Sent him on loan to Norwich. Didn't do a whole lot. Sent him on loan to Peterborough. Looked decent, but that's at League One level. I then bring him in the team at 20 years old. He scores 15 goals and he gets 18 assists in his first full season. I threw him into a cup game because we had a slightly packed schedule. And he ripped apart. I'm trying to think. Let me go on to the 2039-40 season. Let me just see. Where is he? Let's go through here. There. This one here. Derby. He annihilated Derby. I played him as an attacking, as a shadow striker. Sorry. He got a 9 rating. He dominated them. I have never seen a player dominate a game as much as Jimmy Molyneux. Basically, he has 20 acceleration, 18 composure, 19 determination, 18 dribbling, 17 agility, 19 pace. This guy is like friggin' Lionel Messi, and I'm not joking, in terms of actually getting the ball. What he does, he'll pick the ball up on, like, say, the halfway line, and he just penetrates right through the sort of middle third of the pitch, and before you know it, in a few seconds, you've got his goal scoring opportunity. The problem is his finishing is dreadful. It was like 8, I think, when he started. It's gone up to 12, so he's done a little bit better. Problem is the lad can't finish. Well, I say that, we'll come back to that in a bit, but he's generally, overall, he's not that great at finishing. But what he does is he sets up the play. He'll start here, watch anyone else. He'll start here, and he just drives on through, and you end up here in the space of about 2 or 3 seconds, and you're like, how's he done that? He just rips apart. He just destroys centre defensive midfielders and anchormen. They just don't exist to him. He's absolute demigod of a player. He's 22 years old, and I looked at him and thought, yeah, he's all right. When he came through the youth team. Yeah, I can't believe this guy might actually grow up to be the best player I've ever had. If the lad could finish regularly, he could be the best of all time. And when I compare him to Messi, obviously not in a goal scoring record, but in terms of his way of movement on the ball, it's similar. Like, he will pick the ball up, dribble past 3 players, and there's a goal scoring opportunity before him. Obviously Messi's then not just only in another league in terms of finishing, he's in another universe. But there you go. Liam Dunn, a young player who I'm not sure on yet. Felix Bergman, now this is a very little interesting story. Seeing him going on the transfer window, I think 1 January, and I seen him for 5.75 million, I thought, he looks alright. But what I did was, I sent him immediately out on loan because we didn't have any space in the I knew straight away that I was not going to be able to give him a first team opportunity. So I sent him straight out on loan just to see what he was like. And he did okay at Copenhagen. And then he did pretty well at Ajax as well. I sent him on loan again. Bear in mind how young he is. And he scored 17 goals and scored 7 goals. Now, he is absolutely a backup striker for reasons you're going to see in a moment. But he's not at all bad for a backup striker. He's only 24 and he's on 59k a week. I can't argue with that. Him and Grant and Simic to that extent as well. Phenomenal backup strikers, because the 2 strikers I'm about to show you now are 2 of the simply just most ridiculous strikers I've ever had in any team in my life. First one, Phil Proctor, I know, a real English name, is from another planet. He got 47 goals. I know there have probably been higher, you've probably seen higher goal scorers on other people's saves on FM. You probably have had some on yourself, but I generally don't have players who score mammoth totals. I've only ever had one player I think who scored more than that, and that was the godlike Dan Broom from FM15. Do you remember him in the really late Brighton save? Remember him? I think he got 70 goals. I think he equalled Lionel Messi's total for 1 year, which is ridiculous. But put it this way, this guy played, how many is that? 22 appearances, he scored 19 goals. This guy was crocked for the whole first season. In fact, let me just show you, 2036 and 37. Check this out. He tore his hamstring within about a month or so of debuting for us. That was him out. Immediately he returns. Look at that. 3 months later, sprains his ankle. Out for another 4 weeks. Comes back 4 weeks. Thigh strain. Look. He's hardly played 11 days. He then had, a good run of about, 6 weeks. Before he he tears his calf muscles out for another 3 months. And then thankfully doesn't get injured again. He's clearly a bit injury prone, but he's not been as bad recently. But Jesus Christ, this man is unreal. He is such a fan. He's £25.5 million from Sunderland. I could tell he was really good, really good player. He's got 20 that season, 42 there, 26 there, 26, 47. He is astonishingly good. And so is this guy. Cesar Sanchez, signed from Paris Saint-Germain for £15 million. Scored 43 in his first season, 36 in his second, 48 in his third, 44 last season, and 27 this season. He was slightly overshadowed by Proctor, but he was the one doing the shadowing, overshadowing I should say. First time around, he is again just an absolute freak of nature, and is just finishing's great. He's got great pace and agility. Corners is good. He's not bad at penalties, I don't think either. These two combine the two together, and they're just unreal. They're absolutely phenomenal, and that's the team. But I'm going to show you now as well my overall team, the best 11. This is I really like this feature. So the captain before Hervé and Besser was this guy, Michael Gruber. Oh my God, he's still going! Whoa, you retired? Whoa, this is news to me. He's at Stade Rennais and he got... What? No. What's going on? Let's see, you named captain of Liverpool, he should be. Should say named captain of Liverpool here somewhere. Might be back here. Yeah, appointed the Liverpool captain. He was about, 34, 8 years ago. 34. So I thought maybe we can get 3 or 4 or 5 years out of him. That's a good start for captain. But I can't believe it. He's 42 years old and still going. He's retiring. But he's been retiring 3 times. He probably threatened to retire last year as well. I'm stunned. I've never seen that. 42 years old. Wow. Okay. He made 670 appearances. And that, incidentally, I've checked, if he was real, would put him 4th in the all-time Liverpool appearance list. Which 3 players do you suppose would be ahead of him? So the first one is Ian Callaghan, whose record will never be beaten, 800 and something games, which is preposterous. And the other 2, of course, Carragher and Gerrard. So he's not done too badly, I don't think. John Flanagan, who's very good, actually, may remember way back, 9 months ago, I loaned him from Newcastle for 1 season. He's actually kicked on and done very well. Morten Nielsen, who's a grossly overrated player. Don't ask me how he made 400 appearances. Diego Thomas player that actually I kind of regret selling. Alex, a phenomenal holding midfielder. Absolutely, I've never seen a stronger, tougher, steelier centre holding midfield player than Alex. My God, he was good. He was like Gandalf, you shall not pass type thing. He was just so good. Coutinho's in there then. Oh, this is ironic. This is really ironic. Then there's Genovese. Now, I don't think I ever got to... Oh, sorry, I had 1 season of using this guy. He was way past his best. It was a bit of a shame, really. It was sort of, it was sort of Ian Rush in the Premier League, if you know what I mean, at the very back end of the Premier League. You never really got to see the best of him, when he was just about to retire. So that was unfortunate. Then there's Mignolet. Mbessa's nearly there. Jordan Henderson actually made 568. Sergi Samper, Liverpool had him. He's now the manager of Barcelona. I had some good fun with him in management. Sunday Ibrahim is a Nigerian player. This was stupid because I actually came in halfway through the summer and he was already transferred to go somewhere else. Obviously, they had to wait before the transfer window goes through. So his deal was already done. Then on the 1st of July, he went to Guangzhou in China. Then I got a message through from the board saying the fans are disappointed that Sunday Ibrahim went. It was out of my hands. What the fuck do you want me to do? You know, it's shit like that pisses people off. You know, on Football Manager, people hate it. John Lambert, right back, really good right back. He's only just retired. Got caught out quite a lot, but he was pretty good. And there's Daniel Sturridge. So records, let's see. So yeah, Jimmy Molyneux, incidentally, that was his debut season. Highest average rating, 7.9. That's unbelievable. As you can see, there's Steve Murphy eclipsing the Andy Carroll record. Thank God we don't have to look at that anymore. And I think that's pretty much it. We're just going to go over the Champions League very quick. Let's go over the Champions League. So, where are we? I lost the FA Cup final to Sheffield United. Not one of my bright moments there. So this Champions League run then, if it wants to friggin' load it, I don't know why it does that. It just sort of half loads the fixtures. So here we are. This run then, we lost on penalties that season also in the League Cup final to Man United. Played Udinese, who had a good run I think in Italy for a while. In the knockout round. Then we played Sampdoria, so again we had another Italian team who were actually really good as well. There was a period where I think who was it? Inter constantly dominated, like they've been in a league of their own above everyone else, and then sort of there is everyone else, and Udinese, Sampdoria, Juventus, loads of different teams, Napoli, they've sort of jumped in and out over the years, and you can see that you can see them there. And that was a really good game. That proved to me that I think I might have this defensive thing down. We went to Sampdoria, away, hostile atmosphere, and in air quotes, we managed to keep a clean sheet and win 1-0. I was so happy with that one. Then we played Arsenal. Then we managed, bizarre. I think home advantage is overpowered on this, and I'm saying that in a completely neutral fashion. I say that in ways that benefit me, but it also benefits the opposition, obviously. But I personally think that playing at home is a bit overpowered at times. Then we played 3-3 at the Emirates. It was crazy. And then we beat Chelsea 2-1. Now, unfortunately, again, I can't show you the goals. But Jay Grant scored the winner, believe it or not. He scored the winner, 84th minute. It was actually, you know what? I was talking about Molyneux, where he gets the ball on the halfway line and just dribbles around and gets to the box. Grant pretty much scored like that. He got the ball, dribbled past two players, had a shot from about 18 yards out, hit the post, ran up towards the goal and slotted it in. It was a really, really good goal. Unfortunately, I can't show you, as I say, we don't have access to it anymore. Unfortunately, we lost the Super Cup. That wasn't good. And we got to the quarterfinals. And unfortunately, got absolutely hammered at Man United. You can see what I mean. It's like, see, home advantage is just a better OP for me. There you go. One of the biggest wins I ever had there, 7-0 against Swansea. And yeah, that was not a good season, that one actually. We lost the FA Cup final. We did win the Club World Cup. And we did win the Capital One Cup, so that's not too bad, I guess. Then this is where things really started to pick up, I believe. Oh no, it wasn't, sorry, we lost. Oh yeah, they won on the away goal rule, which is bullshit. And then we lost the FA Cup final to Man United, who were just too good for us that day. But this was the time, this is when we started to kick on, I think. Let's make sure, was it? Yeah, Champions League final against Man United. Bear in mind, they already did this to us once, lost on penalties. It was unbelievable. Saint Etienne there. Some much older fans will know about that. And then this was it here. So I think this was the quadruple season. Look at this. We lost 2-1 in the Parc des Princes against Paris Saint-Germain. But Cesar Sanchez managed to get one back. Also, I want to introduce you to Valentin Matza, who now actually ironically plays for Paris Saint-Germain. I signed him for just under 10 million from Atletico. Paris Saint-Germain just came with this bid, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead. He was also a bit unhappy. I couldn't, because Steve Murphy was so good, I couldn't play Matza. So that was a bit of a shame, but yeah. This is, we won 5-0. Sanchez scored a hat-trick against his old club. That was great. Knocked out Man United, and again, look, it's like, well, hang on, they beat us 3-0 at Trafford, but then we beat them 4-0 at Anfield, and it's like, well, hang on, home advantage. And then we beat Inter at 2-0 in Lisbon. Van der Vel, in fact, can I show you? Please tell me I can show you these goals. Yeah, 92nd minute to win it. We absolutely dominated the game, as you can see. 13 shots. That's been a bit generous to them there, actually. That makes them look better than what they actually were. They had barely any highlights. There's the goals. Price, long throw, boom. Van der Velde, in on goal. And here's the second goal now as well. 92nd minute. Price, Van der Velde, boom. Identical goal. That's how you make yourself a hero, by scoring 2 identical goals in a Champions League final. And Inter Milan were a very, very good team, very, very good. And we dispatched them, totally and utterly dispatched them. Won the FA Cup, won the league, and we won the Capital One Cup as well. So that's the quad done. Bergman scoring there in that final. And I think this was a treble, I believe. We won the Champions League again. Did we? Yes, we did after extra time. Oh, this was the latest season, sorry. Yeah, we did a treble. We won the Premier League, nearly went unbeaten. Let me see here. We won the Capital One Cup, but we didn't win the FA Cup. This, by the way, can I just show you this? This is ridiculous. Look how many games we played this month. Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. No wonder we lost that game. We played 4 games in a week. I don't have a particularly big squad, believe it or not. Well, yeah, we lost 4-3. And then we played Real Madrid. I'm just going to show you these highlights because this was nuts. 5-5 in a semi-final. This was very recently. This wasn't the game I was telling you about. Twitter followers might know what I'm talking about. If lovely goal there from Sanchez. I'll show you that one in a minute. If you do follow me on Twitter, you might have seen it. What the game I was talking about. This is also equally as crazy, but I think the other game just had slightly more. A bit more to it. But that is a disappointing goal to concede. I guess if that flies in, you're not necessarily disappointed. But this was really horrible. Steve Murphy, for some reason, developed this thing of. In fact, all players seem to do this. Maybe it's just, I think it is just the 2D match engine, it's just the way it looks. But for some reason, players just can't help but just whacking the ball into other players. I don't know what it is. It's just, as I say, I think it is just the way it looks on the 2D camera. But they just seem to, they don't make an attempt to cross, they just whack it into it. And it's annoying. So it's 3-1 here coming up, I think. Real Madrid, by the way, not I mean, they're good, but they're not incredible. They're not Galacticos or anything. Barcelona and Espanyol have kind of dominated that team. And look at Zazuli. Zazuli does not catch. He just cannot catch. He punches everything. He's like Mignolet. He just does not catch stuff. Ever. And I'm thinking at this point, oh my god, we might have actually met our match. Because we're just walked through teams at this point. This team, it was really complete at this point. I was so happy with it. This was very recently as well. This was just the other. In fact, this was just the other night. I think what's that? Was that 4-1? I think that's 4-1. I'm thinking, oh my god, we are being destroyed. So I changed up a few things, and this happened. Very lucky, I'll admit. I mean, I don't know how the friggin' hell that's a proper goal. That's blatantly an own goal. And then Murphy, just when you needed that little bit of quality, right on half time, 4-3. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, we're back in this now. This is great. And then this happened. Zulia, again, see what I mean? I mean, that's ridiculous. But Zulia just does not, I don't know, his punching magnetises the ball into other players' feet, apparently. I think that was 5-3, I think, at this point. So, already a crazy game. There's 10 minutes left. And here we go. Look at that for a ball from Simic. Look at that touch from Proctor. Here's Sanchez back into Proctor. Brilliant. 5-4. But the ball from Simic, we were really up against them. Real Madrid had a really dominating spell. Simic, though, just one lovely ball. And then Murphy, Bergman, Simic. 5-5. Absolutely unbelievable. And that really was set up then. 2-2 at Anfield. Proctor scoring in the 78th minute. We went 1-0 up again. They brought it back to 2-1. So they were winning on the away goal. And then Proctor in the 78th minute. I'll just show you this. If it wants to load it. Can you load it, please? Thank you. So 7-7. 7-7 on aggregate. This happened. So yeah, they were dominating. We just totally fell apart. Then that happened. Not the best goal ever. But it was just like... you needed the context really of the game, because we had a great start, 20 minutes or so, and then we just suddenly stopped. It was like Liverpool typically in the Champions League, where we start well and then just die on our arse, and we then brought it back to that. So that was that. Now I just want to show you this. I want to end this video, because this has been going for like an hour, with this, quite possibly the most ridiculous. Oh, I can't. Fuck. Never mind. Follow me on Twitter. I've probably got. If you scroll through my tweets, my sweary, horrible tweets, you'll find pictures and stuff of this. Basically, Capital One Cup semi-final, Manchester United, Liverpool, big tie. This was really at the starting to really bubble up into a genuinely. I mean, it's already an enormous rivalry, but I mean, it was the two dominant teams in England, and that's it. Then there was nothing else. You know, it was a real head-to-head thing. They won 6-3. I'm thinking, oh my god, when we got one back, I think they were like 5-1 up at some point. So they went up. I think went up to 6-2, and then we got it back to 6-3. We then won 5-1 at home. That doesn't even tell you half of it. All I'm going to say is that Van der Waard scored a goal. Basically, he had a shot. Keeper sort of parries it. He runs up and puts it in the 92nd minute to level the game. We then went to extra time. Simic scored the winner in like the 96th minute. You know, and one of the things that actually did quite well was it replicated the feeling of it knocked the stuffing out of them. You know what I mean? Like, remember when I always point to that? The great example of that is when Rooney scored that overhead kick against City in the derby. And City were just flat out. They just looked shell shocked, didn't know what to do. That overhead kick psychologically won the game for Man United. There, it was admittedly, I mean, in footballing terms, it won them the game, but it also psychologically won the game, because that just took everything out of City. That didn't just mentally deflate City; it mentally scarred them. You know, for that, and you know, considering how bloody often Sky Sports share that frigging goal. That's what it was sort of like, and I like that. I mean, I don't think that was the case. That's not really in the game, but that's what it felt like, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, this is pretty much So I'll just show you the finances real quick. It's bog standard really for any team in the Champions League. You peak in May, you fall down naturally, you go into the red, and then boom, May spikes up again. For some reason we made a bit of money here. I don't know how that happened, but there you go. I think it's because we didn't spend any money. Or we spent like a minimal amount of money in the transfer window. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So thank you very much for watching. If you've stuck it out this far, I completely thank you a million times over. I will be back for FM16. I just want to make that very clear. I will be coming back for FM16. I have 2 saves in mind. I want to do a Liverpool save, since everyone's saying to do one, and I'm actually quite excited to see what I can do with this new team with Benteke and Firmino and everyone. That will be really good. And I'm not doing it because it's easy or anything. It's purely on request. This has been requested 1,001 times. So I will just do it for that, okay? If you don't like it, we have another save for you, which you can also watch. And that will be with Crew, another quite highly requested team. A team I've considered taking on many times, and I think, frig it, let's do it this time. Let's actually do it and see what we can do. I'm not very good to lower league teams. That one will probably be a long-term save. Liverpool will probably be a shorter-term save. I don't know how far I'm going to get with that. We'll just have to see. I don't know the way I'm going to do it yet, whether it's going to be within, live commentaries all the time, 100% live commentaries, recap videos, a mixture of both. I'm probably going to do a mixture of both because I think the way of making videos has changed quite rapidly since I started making them. I'm looking at all the way other people are doing them now. By the way, I must say that as well, the community's growing phenomenally well, and that is not just down to the work of a handful, but that's everyone across the board. They've done phenomenally well to get where we are. I say keep going, let's see what we can do. I started back in, what was it, 2011. The very start of 2011, I think there was me, some Russian guy who I can't remember doing, and FM Chris. That was it. That were literally the three, as far as I could see, the three Football Manager YouTubers I saw at the very start of January. And I think we saw the likes of, Rick, Total Team Talk come through, and then we started to see Jake, I think, started doing stuff, and a few other people. And then now it's just blossomed to what it is. So that's really good to see. I will be coming back to join all that fun in October, November. I don't know. I'm not sure whether to do a beta save or not. I'm not really a big fan of that. I just prefer to start one save and then go with it, We'll see. But yeah, they're the two saves, Crew and Liverpool. I don't know what format they're going to be in yet, whether to say live, mix, probably a mixture of both. I'll just do that, we'll see. Nearer the time. Follow me on Twitter, links below. I'm also writing for a website, you may have heard of them, called Sabotage Times. I write occasional football opinion pieces on there. My most recent one, I think, went up today, talks about why the Europa League is quite important for Liverpool, why we should take the Europa League quite seriously. So if you are missing any of my footballing knowledge, which I apparently have, you can find me, follow me on Twitter, and I will post out every time I write an article with the Sabotage Times. So thank you very much for watching. I'll probably see you then in the autumn. Goodbye.